All of this, Russia has been gearing up for its presidential election, which actually took place this morning. And we can now reveal that the winner of that election was Hillary Clinton. I'm kidding. People don't like her at all. At all. Not even a little bit. No, the winner, ouch, was... The winner was the poison guy, and Putin's win isn't really much of a surprise, given that three potential candidates who might have had the best chance against him didn't even make it onto the ballot. Alexei Navalny was barred from running thanks to what he says are politically motivated embezzlement charges. Garry Kasparov fled the country, saying he fears political persecution, and Boris Nemtsov was shot in the back in 2015. In other words, they were fucked, harried and killed, respectively. Meanwhile, to keep up appearances, Putin actually bothered to do some campaigning in the past few months. He even went to Crimea, the peninsula he illegally seized, and turned on the charm.
He gave the home crowd a rare glimpse of his warm and fuzzy side. I, he told them, would like to hug you all.
Going on to say, to death. I would like to hug you all to death. I am Putin. And I am willing to bet that a hug from Putin feels like hugging a frozen telephone pole with eyes. And look, Putin wasn't working alone. The Russian girl group Fabrika released a song called Vova Vova, referring to Putin's nickname. They even put out a music video featuring them gyrating to pictures of a shirtless Putin and pretending to marry him. Klasner. And who can blame them for the fantasy of marrying Putin? What young woman wouldn't want to settle down with a joyless 65-year-old whose ex-wife once said of him, unfortunately, he is a vampire? It's a fairy tale. But of all the pro-Putin propaganda, my absolute favourite involved a group called Infrastructure of Charity. They sponsored a contest in which Russian school children were asked to draw pictures of Putin, and the results were sensational. Let me just show you a handful of them. You've got Putin wearing a wolf skin and feathers, Putin playing in a hockey game with 0 fans in attendance, Putin dressed as Lucille Ball going fishing, Putin talking to his doctor on the phone about why his head keeps shrinking, a terrified 6-armed spider Putin, Putin dressed as the Joker suckling a camel, Putin frolicking with 2 extremely DTF furries, Putin rolling so hard on ecstasy that he thinks his tie is a grey and purple croissant, and finally this one, which I would argue is not of Putin at all, but rather a picture of David Caruso teaching a fat dog to swim. And I'm not saying that those pictures tip the balance here. This election was clearly never in doubt. But what today's result means is that everything Putin is famous for, oppression, threats and meddling in elections, will likely continue for the foreseeable future. And that is why my favourite child's drawing was actually this one, which shows Putin astride the world, showering it ostensibly with love, but which, if you really think about it, could just as easily be the disemboweled organs of anyone who dares to cross